guys, Angela here. I have been wanting to do a vlog on going back to school for quite some time now, and I just never have found the time to do it, but recently I've been getting a lot of requests via email and commenting on the Homefront United Network about doing some more pieces on education and military spouses going back to school. So I've briefly discussed with you guys why I went back to school in one of my vlogs, but I will go over that again with you who, haven't really had the time or the opportunity to view that. I have been a full-time college student for 3 years now. I have been attending DeVry University via their accelerated online program. Now, what does this mean? It means pretty much the same thing as if you were going to a university or an online, not an online, brick and mortar campus, building. Same exact thing, only difference is that instead of going for the 4-year bachelorette program, I am doing my bachelor's degree in 3. Yeah. What that entails is pretty much the way they break it up is that you don't get any breaks. You only get 2 breaks a year, which is about 2 weeks during Christmas and 2 weeks during the summer, and that's it. I do believe that DeVry University offers the full 4-year program if you don't want to kind of cram it in, or you have the option of not taking as many classes. But I started off with taking, I believe, 12, and I'm currently up to 14 to almost 16 credits a semester. Again, that's my option. Not everybody has to do that. When my husband deployed in 2008, he was gone from 2008 to 2009. Before he left, he told me, "What are you going to do with your time?" And it's funny because I think I laughed and I said, "Well, what do you mean, what am I going to do with my time?" At the time I worked sometimes 48 hours a week, full time, come home, cook dinner, take care of my son, who at the time was 2 years old. I had plenty to do. I look back at that now and say, wow, I really did have a lot of spare time, even though I was working full time. And I wasn't really into the writing thing as I was today. So a lot of times I wouldn't get home until after 6 o'clock at night with my son, and I'd just be exhausted. So I kind of looked at him and said, right now is not a good time to start school, especially with him deploying. Well, I was wrong. It was the perfect time to start school. I was so motivated after speaking with my financial advisor and my academic advisor at DeVry University. I was pushed so much more to start it, and I ended up starting it in July of 2008, which was a few months before he even deployed. It was the best thing I could have ever done for myself, for my son, and mostly for my husband, because that's who I did it for. So I started off full time, and again, I was working full time, and I was coming home past 6 o'clock, make dinner, put Avery to bed, or sometimes he'd still be awake. On the weekends he'd be awake. I'd be doing my schoolwork. I'd probably spend anywhere from 15 to 25 hours a week on schoolwork, and this would mean sometimes working nights, working a lot of the weekends, things like that. But I'm already at the 3-year mark. This is what I've wanted, and I'm just about to graduate now this coming September of 2011, and all that hard work that I've put in, especially during the deployment time, has really paid off. So I have always been an advocate for not only people going back to school, but definitely military spouses either going back to school and continuing their education, whether it be getting your GED, to going for your associates, your bachelor's, your master's. It really doesn't matter. A lot of military spouses are even in certificate programs, which are absolutely wonderful. I actually was thinking of doing that, but my husband's the one that pushed me for the bachelor's, and I know why he did it, and I'm grateful for that. It was always in my mind, but I always thought, I'll have some time to do it after my son gets older. I hate to say it, if I would have waited, I probably would have never done it. And I can see that now as he is older. He's 5 years old now, and it's a lot harder taking senior classes with him being this age than it was when he was a little infant, toddler, 2 years old. So there's so many different opportunities for military spouses to go back to school. There are so many different universities and online colleges that offer fabulous programs and fabulous discounts. With DeVry University, and I am in no way plugging DeVry University, I'm not paid to advertise them. It's just a school that I go to, and I firmly believe that they are just wonderful. I love the experiences I have with them, the professors, the one-on-one support. It's just been a wonderful 3 years, which is why I'm going to be continuing my master's program, my MBA, through DeVry University. So, but as I said, DeVry University offers me a 55% off military discount. All you have to do is, show your military ID when you send over the paperwork. I did not use my husband's post 9/11 GI Bill benefit because he is in school as well and he's using his post 9/11 benefits. So I pretty much am working off of grants and student loans. I did get qualified for a couple of grants. I don't qualify for the MyCA program because we are not currently on Title X orders. We are just National Guard at the moment. Now, at the time that my husband was on Title X orders, I would have qualified for it, but the program wasn't around at the time, so that's all fine. I have, luckily, I have been able to receive enough financial aid to cover me up until my graduation. You can do it at your own pace, regardless, even if you say, okay, maybe the online program isn't for me. I think it's fabulous. It's harder because you don't have that one-on-one interaction with the students and the teacher, but you do have the opportunity to do so. And what I mean by that is that weekly you do get to interact with the students, and you do have the teacher's contact information, and you do have online and virtual support if you need it for your classes. It's not one of those situations where you're kind of just thrown into the schoolwork, you're given some books, and boom, you have to submit your work by the due date. It doesn't really work like that. So, again, if you are a military spouse and you feel that you just want a little something extra, especially if your husband or your spouse or family member is deployed and not away, this is a wonderful time not only to pass the time, but to do something with yourself and for yourself. And I can't think of a better thing to do for yourself and for your children. Again, there's so much that is involved in going back to school, and I know that as you get older, it's a little scarier, and it is because you've been out of school for so many years. You kind of feel like you're not going to remember things, you're too stupid. That all went through my mind, and it's not that we're stupid. It's just that, again, we've been out of school for so long. We're not used to that constant keeping busy, submitting assignments, writing this, and that. And even when I started writing for the military, it was something that I kind of had to balance. Okay, make yourself a to-do list, task it out. I know I'm like the queen of lists, but it's the truth. I task my day out, do this, and that from this time, this, and that, dinner, this, and that, and it ended up working beautifully, and it still does work, even though sometimes, okay, I will admit I get stressed. There's a lot to do during the day, not enough hours, but I kind of take a step back sometimes if I have to, take a break, and breathe in, breathe out, and you get it done. Like I said, I'll be graduating this September 2011 with honors, and I am so excited to say that because I worked so hard to get to where I am right now. And a lot of people say, well, I don't know how you did it. Believe it or not, anybody can do it. If I did it, and I was never a kid that liked school. Just ask my parents. I didn't like school. I pretty much just passed it because I had to, which is not a good attitude, because I barely got out of school with maybe a C, and it's just never been something that I wanted to do. I wanted to be done. After high school, I was done. But now I see that there's so much more to it, and I know that as military spouses, we have that portable career, depending on what you do. Where your spouse goes, you go. So why not take a class or two online? It surely beats, having to go to an actual campus and having to leave or transfer. It just makes it so much easier. So I would be more than happy to answer any questions if you have any comments or concerns in regards to going back to school. I do have a lot more information that I would like to share with you guys, as well as any referrals for schools, because before choosing DeVry University, I did do my research and I went through a lot of different programs, but I would like to hopefully make another video in regards to some more additional information which have to do with grants and applying for financial aid and things like that. But I would like to hear your comments or your questions before I go ahead and make that next video, so that I can make sure I capture everything that you guys really need to know, because if not, I'm just pretty much going to just make a video on what I know, what I've done, which I know that'll be helpful, especially if you guys are inquiring about going back to school. But again, I highly recommend it, and I think that even if you're somebody that is a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad and you have your hands full with your kids and with their activities, you can always make just a little bit of time for yourself during the day to at least take, I don't know, maybe 4 credits, 6 credits a semester. You know, the time's going to pass you anyway, and you're going to really be grateful for it in the end. Alright guys, if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to let me know. Post it on the comment section below here on the Homefront United Network, or shoot me an email to Angela@angelacaban.com. I'll see you guys real soon.